Greetings, McCabe Church family, and thanks for letting us come to you today via video. It's a different time, and we are learning to minister in different ways. We appreciate you so much for the support you provide our ministry, from the Shoebox Christmas program that's in full swing right now, to helping with funding for our children and youth programs and everything in between. This summer was very strange as we were not able to host the hundreds of volunteers from around the country. I feared it would be devastating for our community and our congregation. This is the first time in 13 years that we've not had volunteers working in our community. It's the first time in 13 years that we haven't had teams that were sharing the love of Jesus Christ with our children. The basketball court was empty. The Christian Life Center was devoid of laughter, and something as small as the slamming of a screen door was unsettling. The tools lay dormant on the shelves of the warehouse, and the trucks and trailers remained in their parking spots. Roofs will continue to leak. Some of our neighbors will continue to struggle to get in and out of their houses because we weren't able to provide wheelchair ramps. And many elders will go without the much needed home improvements that we normally do. Lifelong relationships were not forged as life stories were shared over a sandwich and bottles of water. The sounds of drum, song, and jingle dances were silent. Team members didn't get to hear the stories and the history of the Dakota's people and their lives here on the Spirit Lake Nation. And so bridges weren't built for understanding during our weekly culture nights. But what we weren't able to do with our construction ministry, we made up for by going virtual. I know this sounds strange, but ministry has reached more people in our community because we had to go virtual. Each Sunday, our video message goes out on social media. There are now 5 families who have never worshiped here in person on the Spirit Lake Ministry that receive these messages of hope. We're used to having 50 children for our Summer Jam program, but now we reach over 150. It was great fun for Libby and I as we videotaped the week segments and delivered all the supplies needed to complete the experiments or crafts that went with the lesson. Sometimes we felt like teenagers, going up to the door and knocking and then running away. But this also gave us a chance to do visitation and to see the folks that we hadn't seen for over a week. It was interesting to see not only the children getting excited about the upcoming videos, but also the adults. We have a few adults who don't have children, and they too wanted to be involved in the program as well. It's also been fun to see the videos and pictures of the interaction between the children and the adults as they complete their experiments and crafts together. This made such an impact on people that we are now going to add this monthly to our worship services. We have our usual family nights using Facebook rooms. One of the most memorable was virtual bingo. We delivered all the bingo cards and enough snacks for the families and then went live on Facebook rooms to play. Instead of people picking their own prizes, we billed it as surprise prize bingo. Those prizes were delivered the next day, and it was fun to see them as they learned what they had won. I think that was one of the most fun that we had during a family night in a long time. The ministry provided new sewing machines to some of our congregation, and they made over 800 masks to give to our congregation and to the peoples of our community. We continue to provide a food pantry, energy grants, and now with distance learning, help with phone bills to keep the children connected to Wi-Fi. I feared how the loss of our summer mission and 75% of our annual income would impact the ongoing missions of justice and mercy administered by this ministry. But most of all, I feared what the long-term impact would be for the understanding, fellowship, and relationships grown in our community because of those losses. But here's what I found out. There are churches willing to support this ministry for the long term, and you play an important role in that group. Your support has enabled us not to only survive, but to grow in a year of pandemic. I never dreamed that this would happen. So we're here today to thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers, and please keep us and our community in those prayers. God will guide us, and we will come out of this pandemic stronger spiritually and having a greater appreciation for what we have. McCabe Church, you play a big part in sharing the love of Jesus Christ with the people of the Spirit Lake Nation, and we thank you for that support. We hope to get to see you again soon in person, and please continue to keep us and our friends and relatives here on the Spirit Lake Nation in your prayers. Amen, and thanks. Hopefully get to see you soon.